Good morning, everyone, and thanks again so much for joining us today. My name is Callie Berkson, and I am part of the communications team here at the City of Grand Junction. With the passing of the stay-at-home order issued last night by Governor Polis, we know that many of you have a lot of questions about what this means. Please rest assured that the City of Grand Junction has been working towards this for weeks. We hear your concerns, and we will continue to take measures and work with our community partners on how we can move forward. We have also received feedback from our viewers about the precautions being taken in this room while we continue to hold these briefings. The city is very cognizant of these orders, and we are committed to following the guidelines put forth by the CDC. This room is wiped down both before and after these briefings. The attendees here that you will see today have all had their temperatures taken prior to entering the facility, and social distancing efforts are being practiced. If you are joining us on Facebook today, again, we will not be taking questions live, but we know that many of you have concerns and are looking for answers. We ask that you put your questions in the comments below, and we will address them as quickly and as best as we can. For the media, there will be breakout sessions after this. Today, I am joined by City Manager Greg Caton and Incident Commander for this week, Police Chief Doug Shoemaker. Also here today is Mayor Rick Taggart and several representatives from both the school district and Mesa County Public Health. At this time, I'm going to pass things over to City Manager Greg Caton, and he'll begin our briefing.
Thank you and welcome. I'm Greg Caton, the City Manager. We appreciate your continued engagement and participation as we continue to bring you updated information. The last several days, we've had various sessions, including economic development updates, and as recent as yesterday, hearing from our healthcare professionals in the community. So to start us off today, we have Mayor Rick Taggart.
Thank you, Greg. In addition to the governor's statement last night, I hope everybody is aware that our Senate back in Washington was the first House within our legislature to, in fact, approve the new economic federal stimulus package. It now goes on, hopefully, for a vote in the House tomorrow. But coming out of that, there are going to be significant questions. I have been on the phone this morning with Senator Gardner, and we'll be back on the phone with Senator Gardner and Senator Bennett later this afternoon. And one of the things we want to assure everyone watching is that, in particular, the part of that bill that has to do with the small business administration side, the loans and the grants, we will be bringing experts here either tomorrow or early in the week so they can explain a little bit about the process there, because we have a lot of small businesses that have really been affected by this, as well as our larger businesses. And if we can help steer you in the right direction of who to contact, we're going to do that. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Now we have Incident Commander and our Chief of Police, Doug Shoemaker.
Thank you, Greg, and thanks everybody for tuning in to see what we're talking about today. Just a few quick points today, really. Obviously, last night we had some discussions about the stay-at-home order issued by Governor Polis, which is effective through 11:59 p.m. on April 11th as it stands now. So a lot of questions about that, a lot of changes certainly in people's minds. Something to think about and some points to make certainly are the fact that city offices are closed to the public, but every building now has appropriate signs that will direct our customers how to reach us, including a QR code for convenience that will take you to all the places you need to be as far as who you need to contact, how you need to file things, and so on and so forth, pay bills. The bottom line is we're open for business. We still are. We'll continue to be. We're just doing a little differently for the moment. So we appreciate your patience with that. We want to make sure that we talk about the community compliance piece, because that seems to be in everybody's minds, certainly. So social distancing, public spaces, just be mindful of where you're going and why you're going there, and make the visits purposeful. We want to keep each other in contact at a good distance while still maintaining doing what we do. So just keep those sorts of things in mind. In terms of response and messages, certainly our Facebook and Twitter pages, along with our homepage for COVID-19 I would say, are very reliable sources, and so we ask you to go to those locations to get that specific message that's always going to be accurate, and we'll continue to update it accordingly. The last thing I do, and this is sort of a continuing thing for me, is making sure that we talk about the whole positive side of things, because I think we always need something positive to look at, and that's the GJ Strong hashtag campaign, which of course really allows us to look at the good things that we're doing within the community despite the obstacles that we're clearly faced with. And one thing I want to mention in particular is, remember when you go out and frequent one of the many restaurants, for example, that are open for business for carryout, remember that those folks rely on those wages, and sometimes if those of us can maybe tip a little bit more, maybe do that extra part just to help one another throughout this whole thing. We're seeing a lot of great examples of that now. But remember, we got a lot of critical folks out there trying to do the work, and the more help we can get, the better off. So thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to more updates.
Thank you, Chief. And as always, we bring Mesa County Public Health official here to speak about the most recent updated information. So we have Executive Director Jeff Cure.
Good afternoon. We now have 6 positive COVID-19 cases in Mesa County. The latest person is a male in his 60s. All but one of our current cases can be traced to a source. And what that means is, once we have a few of the cases that can't be traced to a source, then we'll have sustained community transmission, which is a next stage in this process. The priority groups for testing are those 65 and older, and 65 became a new group, replacing 60 just a couple days ago. Those with underlying health conditions and healthcare professionals, all of which need to have symptoms. In the next week, we'll be adding first responders to the priority list through a limited funding opportunity. As far as the stay-at-home order, all the information related to the governor's orders, including yesterday's stay-at-home order, are available on our website, which is health.mesacounty.us. If we treat the stay-at-home order or any of the state orders as mandates, then a few of us will focus on finding loopholes or justification to behave in a non-compliant way. We receive numerous complaints each day about people and businesses not complying with orders. Could we instead view the stay-at-home order and the other orders as guidance to do the right thing, to protect ourselves and those around us? The objective with all of this is to prevent the spread of COVID-19 and to minimize the impact it has on the elderly and those with underlying health conditions. In an overburdened medical system, people with illnesses and injuries not related to COVID-19 don't get the attention they need, so then, as you can imagine, all healthcare issues become overwhelming. All of this is about prevention, and with only 6 positive cases of COVID-19 in Mesa County, the time for us to act is now. Let's not wait for large numbers of infected individuals before we do something. As we've seen throughout the world, reacting to a big problem is much less effective than working to prevent that big problem from ever happening. We all play a role in protecting the health of our community. Our local businesses and our economy are suffering, and businesses have been the primary segment of our community to bear the burden of the COVID-19 response. Let's view the stay-at-home order as an opportunity for all of us to do our part. All of us should see our goal as getting through this situation as quickly as possible. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Jeff. And as we continue to hear feedback and engagement from our viewers, we've received questions about the school district and what's happening there. So we've invited some special guests to attend and join us today. So starting off, we have School District Superintendent, Dr. Diana Circo.
Good morning. First of all, I would like to thank the city for this opportunity to really share what's going on and giving an update of District 51. It's great to have a partnership during these important times as we all need to pull together. We'd like to give a shout out to our Board of Education, our teachers, our principals, our instructional leadership team, our support staff teams who've been disinfecting buildings, going back, getting ready for lessons online, providing lunches doing all we can to continue with critical supports, the kind of supports we provide day in and day out to our students in our community. We appreciate all the efforts of people like Tanya Marvin, who, as you know, from the norovirus, is our ace in the hole when it comes to dealing with these types of situations, and she'll be sharing some ideas with you in a few minutes. We go online beginning March 30th. We ask for patience as we get started with this, and make sure that if you are having a problem, just contact us. We ask for help and support from home to make sure students are trying to work on those lessons. You should anticipate probably 2 lessons that first week, 3 as the time goes on. And for instance, in elementary, it may just focus on reading and mathematics. And in our secondary, each of our teachers will be doing that. So that could be quite a few lessons for our students. For instance, as middle school students may have 7 different classes during a day, they may receive the lessons that go with that at least 2 to 3 times a week. And so, like I said, we ask for your support. There is a stay-at-home order, so most of our staff, of course, is working at home. But just so you know, because we are an educational entity, we're exempt from some of those, and so that does allow us to be able to. We're doing all of our meetings online, but we can do things for the welfare of our students. And an example of that are those meal service options. So we're providing drive-through service. And they're at 13 different sites. If you check the D51 website, Dan Sharp and his amazing staff are really providing breakfast and lunch every day for students, and they're actually during the lunch hours. So they go through with like I said, it's a drive-through service, just like if you went to McDonald's or anywhere else, and you would receive a lunch for today and then breakfast for tomorrow in the bag for each of your children. It's open to all of our students in our community. You don't have to be just on free and reduced lunch. It is for all of our students to make that available to everyone. In addition to that, Grand Junction High School and Central High School have a partnership with Food Bank of the Rockies. For instance, last night, Central gave away 2 semi-trucks worth of food to over 700 families, and we really appreciate the community helpers in making that happen. They are both drive-up programs, and once again, check our website to find out when those dates are. We do have our extended day programs that are still providing childcare. They're still allowed to operate their small programs. We have 4 at 4 different schools, and so please contact us if you need more information about that. Going back to that online learning, we passed out several thousand Chromebooks on Tuesday this week, thanks to the 2017 mill levy and bond, as well as the D51 Foundation. And we still have some available for students. So each of your schools will be letting you know if you were not able to pick them up during the thing that was put together on Tuesday, to watch for your school to send you information about when you might be able to pick those up. Information will be posted on our website. If you need internet, there are 2 ways you can get it. You can contact Charter Spectrum, where they're offering free internet for 60 days. And we have boosted the wireless access at all of our buildings, so you can sit outside the school, either on the yard, although not with others, and with in a car, etc., to be able to access their student accounts. We are getting many emails and concerns from parents regarding graduation, and as yet we obviously do not know what's going to happen. As you know, those ceremonies are scheduled for mid to late May, and we do not know if that will take place as scheduled. We know that we will be having a ceremony for kids. It may be a July 4th celebration, but we will also make sure you have our commitment. They will make sure that we are providing an activity that is appropriate for celebrating the culmination of a K-12 education and making those a special day for our students. In terms of email, we're receiving a lot of email every day. We're getting back to those as quickly as we can. There is a COVID-19 part on our school district website that keeps you up to date on all new information. And I want to again stress what's been shared by both the city and the county health professionals here is the more we can comply with the stay-at-home order, the faster this hopefully will leave our community, and the less it will impact more and more people in our community. So we ask your help greatly in preserving the health and safety of our community. Thanks so much. Stay healthy.
Thank you, Dr. Circo. So now we have Coordinator of Nursing with School District 51, Tanya Marvin.
Hi, just a couple things that I think people might want to know. Now that we don't have kids in school, we're not as concerned about that. We don't have staff in buildings anymore, and so we're going to be locking our buildings so that they will be closed for this time that the executive order is in effect. Since the governor made the executive order yesterday for the stay-at-home, we've had that apply to all of our maintenance people and all of our custodial staff, because since we don't have people in the buildings, they're not essential to that. So our plan is the executive stay-at-home order, it should end April 11th, and if it does, then the next executive order that affects us is the one to return to school on April 17th. That gives us a week that we can get back into those buildings and we can disinfect again before we get students, if in fact that happens. So I think we have a good plan for if we return to school. If not, those buildings will stay closed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And that concludes our presentations today. Thank you so much for joining us. Tune back in every day at noon as we continue to bring the most up-to-date information as it relates to COVID-19 here in our community. For the City of Grand Junction, I'm City Manager Greg Caton. Thank you for tuning in.